What's going on, guys? This is Mayhem here. And about a year ago, 2 years ago actually, sorry, I made a video called This Game is Amazing, Helldivers 2, and it was about almost a little under 2 weeks after the game came out. I played it and absolutely fell in love with it. It's one of my favorite games. It still is one of my favorite games, and since that day I've added it to my main rotation of games that I play. And it's actually even now. And over the past year or so, year and a half, it's become the main game I play for the most part. There's a few other games I put in there. Ready or Not is another one. Haven't played as much Call of Duty as of late, but this is a really big one for me, and I just wanted to come back here because I haven't really made a video about this game in a while. So yeah, I just wanted to make a video and talk a little bit more about my thoughts now on the game as opposed to my thoughts then. Uh, the gameplay you're going to be seeing is a level 7 solo full clear on the automaton front. This is on Chopessa. We're having a major order right now. Take Chopessa back and complete missions on Marfark, which is going to be interesting. And since this game has come out, we've had some really big updates. Just to read out a bunch. The first major update was Escalation of Freedom. Then Omens of Tyranny. That's when they added the Illuminate back to the game from the first game. Uh, then the other major update got another Illuminate update, which was Heart of Democracy. That's probably one of my favorites right as of now. And that's the cape I actually am wearing is when we defended Super Earth. That was great. That was a great update. Added cities and, the city biomes. Then we got probably the most controversial update so far, which is Into the Unjust. A lot of game breaking bugs when this came out. I remember the rupture dudes were just so hard to deal with at this time. The caves were crazy. Uh, but we did get two really cool creatures of the dragon roaches and of course the hive lords. Which I've killed a few. They're tough, man. They take a lot. So those are always fun. And then our most recent update, Machinery of Oppression, which is my favorite update because the bots are my favorite faction to fight. And since this game released on February 8th for PlayStation and PC, and then later August 26th of 2025 for Xbox, this is a game that just refuses to die. And for good reason, there's a lot of good things here. Tons of war bonds, tons of ways to kill enemies. It's great fun. It's a very cinematic game as well. Uh, a great community for the most part. Every community's got those, Neanderthals in it. Those people that ruin it sometimes, but I think for the most part this community has been really great. And what I've also learned to do is solo dive. Been learning how to do that a lot, but past few months, half a year, learning and doing solo dives. And you can see on this mission, this is like the bots are usually the ones that I have a lot of fun on. Uh, I will say my least favorite faction is the Illuminate. Uh, I just struggle to deal with them sometimes, and maybe this is just because I haven't found the good loadout for them yet. But I mean, they're tough, man. That's a tough faction to fight. That's a tough faction to have to deal with constantly. I will say though, I like the bugs. The bugs are kind of like a little easy for me. Now, maybe if I went up to an 8 and there was the guardians, the bigger brute and guard dudes. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but those things are a little annoying to deal with. Usually, once I get to the 8 territory, I'm playing with other people. I solo 7s because I feel like they're the most manageable for me. I can do it usually without dying or dying very little. Uh, And like I said, my favorites are the automatons, and they just added the cyborgs back, and that's been great. That's such a great faction. They got the Vox engines in there, replace the factory striders, and the cyborgs they're a tough enemy. They're fast. Uh, the one version of the cyborgs makes everything fight harder. And they're always adding lore to this game. I've liked most MOs for the most part. The hardest one we've had, and I like how they increase in difficulty the more we go. Like, Cyberstan was tough, and we didn't win that fight, but we did a lot of damage to Cyberstan and a lot of the planets around it. Uh, I would say most of the uh, it does seem a little bit though that sometimes they will put MOs that are just really hard, almost impossible to beat. The sample ones are my least favorite because I feel like they amp up the difficulty and spawn rates sometimes just to make sure you don't leave with that. And for some reason, people are so prideful, they won't lower difficulties, and that kind of, that's a little something sometimes. I will say though, overall, I think the game is in a good state. I think it could be better. There could be improvements. Uh, my biggest complaint is they won't add red stratagems anymore. That kind of sucks because I want red stratagems. I want more of them. We've had the same since launch, and they have added it with. I remember the festival of I can't remember what it was called. It was around Christmas. They added the experimental ones like the napalm. Incendiary Gatling, and they had the EMP 120. That was cool. The smoke walking barrage. Those are cool, man. I kind of miss those. I wish they would go back to it. Most of the war bonds have been great. They add tons of blue stratagems, tons of support weapons. They added the Basilisk tank destroyer back. That thing is really fun to fuck around with. The Emancipator exosuit and the Patriot exosuit are awesome. I just wish we could customize some more stuff. That would be great. Please, Arrowhead, if you're listening, please add that. Weapon customization is now in the game. It's been for a while, actually. That's really cool as well. Being able to put different scopes and attachments on your gun. Just wish there was a little more you could put on there, maybe like barrels and maybe a few more like than just the compensator. I get certain guns like there was the stealth what is it called? Redacted regiment that added suppressors. It'd be cool to put some suppressors on some guns, but I understand. It makes certain guns more unique that you can't add certain things to them because it would ruin the uniqueness of other guns. Uh there's definitely some metal weapons. I would say the gun I'm using right now, the Plas Scorcher, is the best against the It's the best gun against the automatons. It one shots the fodders. It makes the shield dudes completely fucking useless. Uh, it just bypasses. I will say the Coyote is probably the best overall gun still. That incendiary damage is good. It's really good when you need some, which is crazy because assault rifles are like the weaker guns in the game. The shotguns are usually really good. The energy-based weapons are pretty nice. Incendiary definitely got a nerf in some aspects, but it's still really good. It was really overpowered when the game first came out. Uh, some things get nerfed, some things get buffed. It's nice to see the buffs. I kind of hate nerfs in a game like this. Never understood it in zombies. Don't understand it now. Most of the environments and the side objectives have always been great. They always add new side objectives. We're getting tons of new biomes, and for this new roadmap, they're adding a ton of new content for the next few months. So that's cool until the next major update comes out. And overall, again, I think the game is in a good state. I think we we got a game not perfect, but pretty close to perfect, and Arrowhead is very good with their super credit pricing, and the fact that you can just earn them for free is great. Super credit farming takes a while, but it's free, so there's that. And at the end of the day, this game for me is a 10 out of 10. It's still an amazing game. It's honestly a masterpiece in my eyes. It's probably the best horde shooter extraction. It's not really an extraction shooter. Objective based horde shooter is. The only thing I wish for, which I don't know if they're bringing, but I've heard a lot of rumors about it, is huge operations with multiple different teams, multiple players, and like huge objective maps, way more time limit. That's gonna be really cool if that comes into the game. A bigger squad, I think too. I think it's gonna go from 4 to 8. That's gonna be crazy. Uh, we'll see how that works though. Maybe extra stratagem slot would be nice. Maybe more red stratagems, like I said, that'd be really cool. Let's get a few more reds in there. Uh, that's only my biggest complaint. We need more red stratagems. And I don't really know why they haven't been adding too many. Maybe they're a little hesitant to. I don't really know. But again, overall, I would say if it's not a 10, it's like a 9.99. It's very close. It's not flawless, but to me, it is a masterpiece. And I really do love this game, and I'm constantly going to be playing it. I'm going to try to post a little bit more of it in the coming months. Uh, as the game grows. And, sometimes like the average players when there's not a major update is around like 70, 80K. And when there's a big update, like the last big update, there was like almost 300,000 people back on this game. So, it fluctuates. And that's nice. It's good to see this game still has a huge player base that loves this game, appreciates this game, and hopefully, it seems like Arrowhead cares, and that's great. So let's keep that going. But alright. Anyway, that is all I have to say. This is the end of this video, at least the talking portion of this video. If you liked, please hit that like button. If you haven't already subscribed, comment down below, whatever. Tell me I got you know, a, a fat head. I don't know. Tell me something. Say whatever. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. Uh, Besides that, I want to thank you guys for watching. Keep out for more videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay. Alright, this is Mayhem, signing out. Peace.
Injury? What injury? Tagging map. Dropping a pin.
You have been a stalwart line of freedom. Extract when ready. Mod outpost destroyed.
Tagging map. pin. Cancel that. Objective located. Never mind.
Orbital barrage incoming. Stand clear. You may proceed to extraction when ready.
Tagging map. Last reload!
Outpost cleared.
Hey! Dropping a pin.
Sending down equipment package. Bot outpost destroyed. Extraction is available.
Out of ammo! Last reload! Tagging map.
Outpost destroyed.
Dropping a pin. Last reload! Have it! Found something!
20 minutes remaining. Warning, you are leaving the mission area. You may proceed to extraction when ready.
Feels good!
Plot outpost destroyed. Deploying sentry.
For prosperity!
Firing orbital laser.
I need a team reload!
Tactical asset near your position. Sending down equipment package. Extraction is available.
Tagging map. Last reload! No!
Mission map updated. You may proceed to extraction when ready. Extraction is available. Outpost cleared.
Dropping a pin. Injury? What injury? Tagging map.
Extraction is available. Sending down equipment package. Extraction shuttle inbound. Orbital barrage incoming. Stand clear. ETA T-minus 1 minute 30 seconds. Sending down support weapon. ETA T-minus 1 minute. ETA T-minus 30 seconds.
Have a taste of democracy.
ETA T-minus 20 seconds. ETA T-minus 10 seconds. Clear landing zone.
Pelican 1 approaching pickup. Last reload! Extraction complete. Pelican Line 1 beginning ascent.
You have maintained our way of life.
Against all odds.